Om
Om
Sadashiva
Shankaracharya Madhyama Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Parampara
Om
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviram Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadhetamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Tat Sat. We are on the 26th verse of the 7th chapter. So we will just chant that out. Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Shri Bhagavan
Vedaham Samatitani
Vedaham Samatitani
Vartamanani Charjuna
Vartamanani Charjuna
Bhavishyani cha bhutani
Bhavishyani Bhutani
Mam tu vedana kasyana
Mantu Vedana Kashchana.
Okay, so in the previous verses we saw that how Krishna explained that the whole thing is because of Maya, and what was the way of, we talked about it in the last verse, what was the way of breaking that Maya is to go to the magician and understand what the Maya is. So, and in this particular verse, in the last verse, we said what Maya was the reason why the people don't recognize Ishvara. So, Maya is the reason why the vision of the sadhaka is veiled, it is obstructed. And therefore, here there is a Purva Pakshi who raises a question. He says, so you say that this Yoga Maya is like a veil, a curtain, right? On one side of the curtain is the Jiva, the Sadhaka, and the other side of the curtain is Ishvara. So the curtain obstructs the Jiva's view of Ishvara, and the Pupa says, this Purvapakshi says, but the same curtain, will it not obstruct Ishvara's view of Jiva? Because the curtain is not one-sided, right? Both ways. So here, in this verse, Krishna is saying that this Yogamaya curtain is like a one-way mirror. You cannot see me, but I can see you. Why? Because you, the Jiva, though essentially you are the same as me, because of Ajnanam and because of your identification with the Upadi, you, the Jiva, are Alpagnaha. You have very little knowledge. Whereas I am Sarvagnaha. I'm omniscient. I know everything. And therefore, this Yoga Maya curtain is like a one-way mirror. You cannot see me, but I can see you. Therefore, Maya doesn't affect me. And Shankara in his commentary gives the example of a Mayavi, the magic of the Mayavi, the magician. It deludes the audience, it confuses the audience, but does not confuse the Mayavi himself, does not confuse the magician himself. And so Krishna says, Aham Veda, so that Vedaham has to be broken up. Aham Veda, I know, and you have to, from the second line, you have to bring the word Bhutani. So, Aham Veda Bhutani. I know all Bhutanis. I know all beings. And what do I mean by all beings? Samatitani, who were existing in the past. So, you have to say Samatitani Bhutani Aham Vedaha. I know all the beings who have existed in the past. Then Aham Veda Vartamanani Bhutani. I know all the beings who are existing today. And aham veda bhavishyani bhutani. I know all the beings who will exist in the future also. In short, the entire creation, which is past, present, and future, I am aware of. So Krishna says, I know everything. Who was born, who is born, who will be born. Everything I know. Therefore, nothing is hidden from me. Well, you are not aware of that because you don't know what you were in the last birth. Right? You think this is your first and only birth. So you are alpagnaha. You are a person who has got little knowledge, little, and you have a lot of ajnanam. While I am sarvagnaha, I know everything. And therefore he adds, if you look at the last quarter, mam tu vedana kaschana. So kaschan mam na vedaha. Kaschan means nobody else, no jiva knows me. I know all the jivas, but no jiva knows me. This is the text of this. This is the essence of this verse. That I know all the jivas who are born, will be born, but no jiva knows who I am. Why? Because jiva has the problem of ajnanam. Ishvara does not have the problem of ajnanam. Okay. Now, when you say ajnanam, you are saying that you don't have jnanam. And if you don't have jnanam, there must be some sort of pratibandha, obstacles to that jnanam, right? And in Shastra, we say that there are two types of obstacles to jnanam. One is called samanya pratibandha, general obstruction. Okay. Also called ajnanam, also called maya. So ajnanam at the Vyashti level, maya at the Samashti level, it's got the general name of samanya pratibandha, general obstacles. And there is a vishesha pratibandha also, a specific obstacle also, which is called ragadvesha. So you have, why like that? Because samanya pratibandha is, by the very name, samanya means general. It is common to all jivas. So ajnanam is common to all jivas who are born. But ragadvesha varies from jiva to jiva, and therefore ragadvesha is vishesha pratibandha, specific pratibandha. And in this verse, verse number 26, we are discussing samanya pratibandha, general obstacles, which is ajnanam or maya. Anandagiri gives it a name called Moola Vidya. Moola Avidya, the basic avidya. You must have heard that name, right? Okay, Shankara here adds a note saying that this particular idea, which idea? That everybody doesn't know me, is not applicable to Nishkama Bhaktas. So Nishkama Bhaktas are the exception to the rule that no jiva knows the Lord. So, mam tu vedana kaschana, kaschana mamna veda. Nobody knows me. Shankara says that is right. But Krishna is taken for granted that you know that there is an exception to that rule, and that exception is the Nishkama Bhakta. So for the Nishkama Bhakta, the Avarna Shakti will not work. Why will it not work? Because he is a Jignasu Bhakta. He goes to a Guru. Guru will do the necessary operation to remove the cataract, right? So he has a cataract called Avarna Shakti, and the Guru uses the laser beam called the Mahavakyam to remove that cataract. The Avarna Shakti is removed by Mahavakyam. So that the Guru is a doctor for that. And then this Jignasu Bhakta therefore becomes free from the Ajnana cataract and then becomes a Jnani Bhakta. And this Jnani Bhakta knows Ishvara as Aham Brahma Asmi. So to that person, this line, Kaschana Mamna Vedaha, does not apply. Shankara says that you must be clear about. Is this for a general stream of humanity that the statement is mentioned? So that is Samanya Pratibandha, general obstacle. What is general obstacle? Because you are born with Ajnanam. All jivas are born with Ajnanam, but Some jivas have the prarabdha, make the necessary effort, have the viveka shakti to go to a guru and learn that they indeed are Brahman. For them only, samanya pratibandha, general obstacles to knowledge do not apply. All the other people, they don't know me, Ishvara. That is the essence of the 26th verse. So we said there are two types of obstacles, samanya pratibandha and vishesha pratibandha. So, samanya pratibandha we discussed in verse number 26. Vishesha pratibandha we will discuss in the next verse, verse number 27, which we will chant. Ichha dvesha samuthena
इच्छा द्वेष समुत्थेन
dvanda mohena bharata
द्वन्द्वमोहेन भारत
sarva bhutani sammoham
सर्वभूतानि सम्मोहम्
sarge yanti parantapa. Okay. So, the very important idea is being presented here. What exactly is samsara? So, we said there are two obstacles which are obstacles to knowledge, basically obstacles to nirguna jnanam, and therefore you can think of it as obstacles which are keeping the sadhakas as sakama bhaktas, as worshippers of Saguna Ishvara. And since worship of Saguna Ishvara cannot give you Jivan Mukti, they continue to be samsari. Now we are taking this interpretation. Why? Because we are talking about bhaktas. If you are not bhaktas, you wouldn't be reading this, studying the text anyway. So there are two obstacles which keep bhaktas as sakama bhaktas, as samsaris. What is that? The first one is called samanya pratibandha, which is called ajnanam, which is called maya, which is called avarna shakti of maya. And the second obstacle is being discussed here, vishesha pratibandha. What is that vishesha pratibandha? It is raga dvesha. And why is it called vishesha, special, specific? Because the intensity of raga dvesha differs from person to person. The object of raga dvesha differs from person to person. The nature of raga dvesha differs from person to person based upon his own character. And therefore it is specific to a person. While samanya pratibandha ajnanam is common across all jivas. Okay. The combination of these two, they keep me as a samsari. Why? Even though I am nirguna Brahman, because of ajnanam, which is samanya pratibandha, I don't know that I am nirguna Brahman. Therefore, I conclude that I am purnaha, even though apurnaha, even though actually I am purnaha. And so every jivatma, therefore, starts his life with this idea that I am incomplete. And if I am incomplete, I am looking for purnatvam. What do? I try to get more and more events in my life, acquire more things. I go on world tours, I get relationships, I get married because I think that will make me purnaha. After 1 year, I cannot put up with her or him anymore, so I get divorced because I think that will make me purnaha. So raga dvesha, right? Raga is working, is activity trying to acquire those things which I think will make me a complete person. Dvesha is activity towards getting rid of things which make me unhappy. And therefore, I think that I'm unhappy because these things are there in my life. Therefore, if I get rid of them, I will be purna. And therefore, my entire life is spent in acquiring objects and in getting rid of objects, right? Not knowing that there is a fundamental question. What is that fundamental question? Why do I run after objects and run away from objects? Because I think I am apurnaha. So the fundamental question is, am I really Apurnaha or not? That question I have not asked. And so Swami Dayananda says, all jivas are wanting beings. So in inverted commas, wanting beings. And why is he a wanting being? Because in his head, there is only one thought. I want, I want, I want. What he wants keeps changing. I want car, I want house, I want wife, I want children, I want this, I want better job, I want more money. What he wants keeps changing. But the fact that he wants something, that is constant. The something keeps changing, but the fact of wanting remains constant. And this wanting being is a samsari. As long as you want something, you are a samsari. Why? Because you want something because you think you are apurnaha. Because that will make you happier. So what is the solution? The solution is being presented in this particular verse. Okay. Now, okay, if you want a solution, first you should know the problem, right? What is the problem here? We have defined it. That I want, I want, I want. And therefore, I want something and I want something not in my life also. So there is attraction towards something which I want, raga. There is aversion, dvesha, towards that which I don't want. And the combination of this attraction and aversion of this raga, dvesha is the moha, is the delusion. And my life runs on these three forces. What are the forces? Attraction, aversion, delusion. I run after so many things in life, right? So if you look at people around us, so we are all blessed beings, okay? We are all people who are in Vedanta. So I'm not saying that we are typically these kind of people. But if you look around you, you will find that somebody runs after money, runs after relationships, runs after fame, runs after wealth for 70 years of his life or 75 years of his life. He abuses his body. He struggles for acquiring money, maintaining relationships, all these things he struggles. When he's 75, he realizes that I've got a lot of money, but what has happened? My health is gone. And so in my old age, all the money that I acquired, does it give me happiness? No, because I am using that money to pay for doctors and hospitals and ICUs. You see what I'm saying? The wanting being has not gone. That background music, you can call it, I want, I want, I want. That has continued, is it not? Earlier, I wanted what? I wanted fame, I wanted wealth, I wanted relationships. Now I want what? I want health. So wanting remains the same. So the raga dvesha towards many things, the raga towards many things has now become raga towards health and dvesha towards ill health. Fact remains, raga dvesha was there earlier. Raga dvesha is there now. Earlier, the objects of raga dvesha were different. Now the objects of raga dvesha are reduced to two. Raga for health, dvesha for ill health. And therefore, what has remained is the wanting being has remained. The wanting has remained. What is the problem? So Krishna says the problem is that you have missed me, the infinite Ishvara, who is residing in yourself only. You look into your heart, I've always been there. But you have been so busy looking outside that you have missed me completely. And since when have I missed you? So he says, Sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. Sarge. At the time of birth itself, you have been ignorant from the Sarva bhutani sammoham. All the beings, all jivas are deluded. Sarge yanti he parantapa. From the very sargam, from the very birth itself, you are deluded. And since you did not look inside, since you did not know that Ananda is there within you, Purnatvam is there within you, you looked outside for that same Ananda, that same Purnatvam. And what happened? Balastavat Srida Saktaha, Tarunastavat Taruni Saktaha, Vriddhastavat Chinta Saktaha. Then first you sought happiness from toys, then you sought happiness from motorcycles, then computer games, then Facebook, then Twitter, then WhatsApp. When you grew up, you sought happiness from your wife and children, from your husband and children, from the TV channels. First, there were 10 TV channels, then there are 100. Then you bought Tata Skype, so you can tailor make them to what you want. What is happening? Whole time you are looking outward. Extroverted life is there. You're looking only outward. You have never asked the question, that thing which I'm looking for, that Purnatvam which I'm looking for, where is it? Is it within myself? That question has never occurred. And therefore, Krishna says, Ichha Dvesha Samuthena. Samutham means a karyam, a product. Ichha Dvesha Samuthena means a product born out of Ichha, and Ichha here means Raga. Ichha and Dvesha. A product born out of Raga and Dvesha. That is the problem. What is that? Ichha Dvesha Samuthena Dvanda Mohena He Bharata. The product, the child born out of Raga and Dvesha is what? Dvanda Moha. So Mr. Dvanda Moha. Right? Like you say, Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Alok Sharma. This is Mr. Dvanda Moha. Dvanda is the first name. Moha is the second name. So Dvanda Moha is what? A delusion caused by Dvandam, pairs of opposites. Who are the parents? Ragadvesha. So Dvanda here refers to Ragadvesha. And therefore, Ichha Dvesha Samuttena, the product born out of Ragadvesha, that is called Moha, the delusion, born out of that Dvandam. Now, there is a very careful use by Krishna of the word Dvanda, pairs of opposites. Why? Your entire life, you will find that you are facing constantly pairs of opposites. You have heat and cold, you have success and failure, you have manam and apman, honor and dishonor, manar and apmanam, you have gain and loss, you have birth and death. Always there are pairs of opposites. And therefore, Dvanda Mohena, the whole universe, all the jivas are confused because of this particular illusion. Okay. Now, all these are basically what? Are Ishvara Srishti only, right? All the pairs of opposites, they are Ishvara Srishti. They are created by Ishvara. And what is created by Ishvara should normally cause you no problems. That's very incisive statement. What is created by Ishvara should normally cause you no problems, but they do. Why? What is the answer? Anything which is created in this world, including happiness, including anything, any pairs of opposites, heat and cold, for example, right? Honor and dishonor. All these are born out of Ishvara only. How can anything which is born out of Ishvara cause you problems? Shankara adds a very brilliant little statement that all living beings have got in common one pair of likes and dislikes. Any living being you take, jnani, non-jnani, there is one set of likes and dislikes, one pair of likes and dislikes, which is universal. This is non-variable pair. It's a non-variable ragadvesha. And there are many, many sets of likes and dislikes, many, many pairs of ragadveshas, which are not specific to the whole class of jivas, which are specific towards individual jivas. But Shankara says there is a non-variable ragadvesha, non-variable pair. What is that pair?
Sukham Dukham.
Very good. Sukham Dukham is the non-variable pair. Everybody has a raga for Sukham. Everybody has a dvesha for Dukham. The love for happiness, dislike for sorrow or pain, that is non-variable. And then, of course, there is variable ragadvesha varying from individual to individual. Right? Which means what? That everybody dislikes pain, everybody loves pleasure, and therefore everybody dislikes any cause of pain and loves any cause of pleasure. Right? That also is a very, very carefully worded statement. You must remember that cannot be universal, because what is the cause for pleasure for one person may be the cause of pain for another person. Okay. And I can give you my example. My daughter, when she was young, now of course she is much older, she is sensible. But my daughter, when she was young, she used to love very loud music, you know. It used to literally hurt my ears. So I had dvesha for that, but she had raga for it. So it is different for different people. So what is the cause for dukkham can vary. Your raga dvesha for the cause for the sukham and dukkham is variable. But your raga dvesha for the effect, sukham and dukkham, is non-variable. It is common across all jivas. It's a very, very subtle point, well worthwhile meditating upon. Sukha, dukkha, raga, dvesha is non-variable across all jivas. Sukha hetu, dukkha hetu, raga, dvesha. The raga, dvesha for the causes of sukham and dukkham, they are always variables. And because of that only, because of the fact that the sukha, dukkha, hetus, the causes are variable factor, that is why I divide the world into two, saying this is a source of sorrow and this is a source of happiness. This is delusion. This is moha. This is my personal tragedy. And after having divided this world into two, what do? I do activity to acquire what I think is sukham, and I do activity to get rid of what I think is dukkham. And since this delusion is born out of ragadvesha, Krishna says dvanda moha. So Vedanta does not look upon the world as either happiness or either cause for happiness or a cause of sorrow. That I do. Right? The cause of happiness is actually what? Knowing my true nature. The cause of sorrow is what? Not knowing my true nature. And this I don't know. I don't know what is the cause of happiness and what is the cause of sorrow. I don't know that the whole thing arises out of an ignorance of my own nature. All sorrow arises out of an ignorance of my own nature. And therefore, whenever I am sorrowful, I shift the responsibility from myself to somebody else. So I want to change my husband, I want to change my wife, I want to change my car, I want to change the people around me, I want to change my job, change this, change that. Always hoping a change of environment will improve things. And Shankara says this ragadvesha generates that confusion which clouds your discriminative ability. The obstacle to the rise of knowledge is delusion. And Krishna has already pointed this out. Where did he point out? You saw in long, long ago, in chapter 2. Dhyayato vishayan punsaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate krodha dhavati sammoha sammohat prativibhramaha pratibhramshat buddhinashaha buddhinasha pranashyati. For an intellect covered by delusion, by moha, Shankara says even worldly knowledge is not possible. Why talk about Atma Jnanam at all? Right? And then, while ending his commentary on this particular verse, Shankara adds a very, very powerful point. He says, anybody who is under the grip, under the grasp of Raga Dvesha, and therefore moha. The moment you are under the grasp of Raga Dvesha, you have automatically come under the grasp of its child, moha. That is why he says, Ichcha Dvesha Samuthena Dvanda Mohena. Born out of Raga Dvesha is moha. So when you say, I am under the grasp of Raga Dvesha, you are actually saying, I am confused. I am under the grasp of delusion. Shankara says, such a person, it is impossible for him to practice Nishkama Bhakti. Why so? Because every namaskara that he does, every mantra that he chants, he can never do it without the grasp of that Ragadvesha, right? That is why we are saying he's under the grip of Ragadvesha. And what does the grasp of Ragadvesha do? Ragadvesha keeps your mind stuck on ahankara, mamakara, on your family, on your friends, on your profession, on your wealth. Ahankara, mamakara keeps your family stuck. It keeps your mind stuck in anatma. And therefore, every prayer that you offer will be for that anatma only. You will remain stuck in Sakama Bhakti. You will never come to Nishkama Bhakti. The person who never comes to Nishkama Bhakti, he will never get Atma Jnana. Okay. Now here you can ask a question. Krishna says, Sarge Yanti Parantapa. All living beings are deluded by Maya. And the question is, if nobody can get out of Maya, does not Vedantic study become useless? Does not a sadhana become useless? Therefore, that cannot be the right answer, right? That Sarge Yanti Parantapa cannot be taken as people, all people. We have to say some people must be getting out of samsara, right? And what Krishna is referring to, he is saying there are majority of people are stuck in samsara, but there are a few who manage to escape. And how do they do that? That Krishna will talk about in the next verse, verse number 28, which we will see in the next class. But this will stop for today. Any questions? Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you for
Namah
your attention.
Shivaya.
Acharya.
Thank you, Acharya.
Thank you, Raviji.
Thank you, sir.